This Thursday Night Football Props edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the code SGPN.
What's up? This is Los Angeles Chargers superfan Justin Decker, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it rock.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Cram?
Dog. Skull. I just love how we haven't outlawed that one. What
Skull?
We do a little history lesson on what they used to chant that before they did. No issues there.
Vikings were not the most politically correct.
No one was offended by that.
Yeah, they were not kind to indigenous people. If you want to be honest, I mean, Christopher Columbus gets canceled, but Vikings don't get canceled.
That they were. I mean, just British were having some tea on their lawn. Next thing you know, dead.
Oh man,
maybe raped first, but then dead.
Imagine you're just like hanging out in your little thatch hut, and then you hear that horn. Like, oh fuck, here come the Vikings. No, you just
put your fire out and hope they didn't see the smoke.
Yeah, you just try and avoid their giant battle axes. We got a great show. We're going to be talking some Thursday night props with our buddy Scott Reichel from the Propcast. We're also going to be talking a little NBA. NBA is tipping off Tuesday, depending on when you're listening. It's already Tuesday on the East Coast. Staying up live here late after the Monday night doubleheader. Couple interesting games. We'll just recap them real quick here, Kramer. But man, that Seahawks Texans game is insane because on one part, I feel like I nailed the handicap with the Texans of, hey, they're going to be able to turn over Darnold.
Yep.
He's going to make some mistakes. They're going to have some opportunities.
Yep.
They did. They turned them over 4 times. They won the turnover battle +3.
Yep. Teams
in that spot 13-0 previously. But on the other side, the Texans offense is just complete garbage. Didn't get it done. CJ Stroud continues to struggle. Although I will say, shout out to him. They did fight late. I don't know how and just crazy play after crazy play. There was so many calls, both sides, that the refs missed. Like the missed safety to get the game going. I don't know how, like late in the game, I don't know. Just horrible clock management. One, that you didn't have a QB sneak at all on that first goal line stamp, but that you even still got another shot. They ran a running play inside the 10. They finally scored 204. Okay, 204. Here's the only thing you cannot do is let them return it.
Yeah.
Let them return the kickoff. Kick it out of bounds. How we watched the Bears game. These coaches are insane. So very weird, wild game. Seahawks get the win and the cover 27-19. Kramer, I think you hit on JSN. I had the under receiving yards. That was a stinker.
Yeah,
but I crushed it with the the passing yards was easy with our boy Dalton Schultz, and the receiving receptions ladder got up to 9, which paid out almost 20 to 1, 1960 on the Dalton Schultz 9 receptions. So that was a nice winner. Helped bail me out there from being on the Texans. Kramer,
horrible beat on the CJ Stroud rushing yards. He had 0 attempts, 0 yards until the Seahawks decided just to continue to give him possessions. And it was not until that last possession he went over. But yeah, Nico smashed the under. And then the other game, David Montgomery under.
Yes, and then any thoughts on the Tampa Bay Bucs? They did not get the win. Detroit got the win and the cover 24-9. Baker was hanging around. They were hanging around in that game the entire time. The big news for me was Mike Evans getting knocked out of the game. Our underdog entry did get rescued there because of him getting hurt, but he's going to miss a ton of time. He broke his collarbone. Going to miss a few months. He might be done for the rest of the year.
They I mean, Todd Bowles used like an ominous for a lot of the season or most of the season.
Yeah.
Potentially not returning this season.
I think it's one of those things like maybe he could make a miracle recovery.
Yeah, this was just the Bucs game where they finally, the tipping point of all the injuries kind of added up, and you had Detroit very motivated.
Yeah, and I probably I was too much into the Baker as a dog. Mike Evans is back. They're gonna and if
he could have, but like Baker makes a couple decent throws, and
he had some opportunities, and I thought their defense, for the most part, kept them in that game with some big stops when they needed it, but ultimately not enough. To your point, like the Lions were too jacked up for this. Yeah. Lions off a loss. Lions in prime time. Even though Jared Goff made some mistakes, Amon-Ra looked great. Gibbs looked great, and they brought. Even though their entire secondary was out, I thought the linebackers and the defensive line, the front seven, really did a great job of tackling them. You know, creating pressure for Baker.
It looked like they got punished in practice. Kind of thing. There's a little bit of that vibe where they were working really hard. They didn't get to drink the hose after every practice session.
And shout out to the chat. Howard Lee pointing out RIP Mike Evans 1,000-yard seasons. I mean that's a brutal.
Which I believe he either holds the record or is tied with Jerry Rice for the record for most 1,000-yard seasons. Real quick though, back to the CJ Stroud. At this point, what do we make of this quarterback class? Bryce Young 1. CJ Stroud 2, Anthony.
Come on.
I'm telling you that this is how they were drafted.
Oh, how they were drafted.
Anthony Richardson 4th, Will Levis in the 33rd overall. Then you had Hendon Hooker, Jake Haener, Stetson Bennett, Aiden O'Connell, Clayton Tune, Dorian Thompson Robinson, Sean Clifford, Jaron Hall, Tanner McKee, Max Duggan, Malik Cunningham, and Tyson Bagent.
Well, Tanner McKee and Tyson Bagent have had some good moments.
Is this going to go down as one of the worst quarterback classes ever?
No. There's been some really bad quarterback classes, but I still think
if you redraft today, who goes first?
Oh, CJ Stroud.
Is it first overall or is it like a second round pick?
I don't know. I'd have to look to the rest of the draft class. I'm trying to think if there are any like stud linemen. I mean, we were both on this. I didn't think he was going to struggle this much, but he certainly has not. He's nowhere near as good as the hype was that rookie year, but I still think he has some fight in him. And I would say I did like how.
I mean, Jalen Carter went 9, Bijan went 8, Jahmyr Gibbs went 12. I'm just saying, like all of these players, Paris Johnson Jr. is going ahead of these guys. Will Anderson, Devin Witherspoon.
It would be interesting. I mean,
Jackson Smith and Jigba went 20th,
but quarterbacks are still a premium. So, and he's won a decent amount of games. So I'm not completely ready to give up on.
Lions drafted
CJ
Sam
Stroud.
Laporta and Brian Branch in the second round that year after taking getting destroyed by taking Gibbs and Campbell, the linebacker, in the first round, if you remember.
Yeah. No, and they're pointing out in the chat too. I mean, we thought the Baker, Indiana Jones, Sam Darnold quarterback class was really bad, and now it turns out it's one of the best QB classes of all time.
Baker and they weren't all in the same class.
Wait, Baker and Darnold weren't?
Baker and Darnold were. Baker and Danny Dimes were or Kyler and Danny Dimes were in the same class. Now I'm getting them confused.
Baker was number 1. Saquon Darnold was number 3.
Yeah, Daniel
Jones was the
next year.
Yeah, or was it the year before? Because you guys drafted Saquon that year.
Saquon was on the team before.
Okay, so then Danny Dimes next year.
Yeah, I think Kyler was the one pick that year. And then of course there's the debate that Decker brings up every time. He's like, so are people still thinking Tua is better than Herbert?
Well, I mean, we'll see, but
we'll see.
No,
I think that one's good.
Tua is obviously way worse than Herbert. But to my point, those Herbert, I read all these recaps, the reviews. I'm the only guy on the internet giving Herbert shit for those 2 horrible interceptions, 2 backbreaking interceptions. Inexcusable in that game.
It's Stroud and Bryce Young just look so that class just looks so bad.
Well, Bryce Young's hurt now. Sam Darnold's coming in.
It's
Or not Sam
classic
Darnold,
high
Andy
ankle sprain.
Dalton.
High ankle sprain,
Soft
aka
benching.
benching.
The JJ McCarthy fans versus the rest of the internet that clearly sees, well, part of the equation of him not playing is sure that he's hurt, but also that he wasn't playing well and that he's a young quarterback and they're protecting him. But Vikings fans are like, oh no. If JJ McCarthy was playing good, he would be starting Thursday night. He has not been playing good, so they want to keep stretching out. I mean, Carson Wentz isn't 100%.
Jackson Dart's not missing 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I don't think any quarterback that's
and you know what? While we're at it, if the agent or the PR team could circle back with Adam Schefter, get him to post a update editorial, and make sure he puts out a social video too. If he gives you trouble, just send that picture of his house and family. Like, what are you doing, Adam? It does seem like the media really wants to coddle JJ McCarthy for some reason. We'll have to get to the bottom. Maybe some journalism to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, we'll do some.
He gets different treatment than other young quarterbacks.
Yeah,
say that for sure.
He's been completely protected. All right, we're gonna switch gears, talk a little Thursday night props and NBA picks. Before we do, of course, shout out to our pick when it comes to online sportsbooks, mybookie.ag. Toss in that promo code SGPN so they know we sent you. Always appreciate you guys take a little action over to my bookie. We know there's plenty of good options, and add my bookie to your menu of sportsbooks. Use that promo code SGPN. Score 100% back bonus up to $500. Terms and conditions do apply, but mybookie.ag promo code SGPN. The Dalton Schultz ladder I hit. I was climbing it over on mybookie.ag. Got up to 9 catches. He was banged up a little bit. Took some time. Missed a couple plays. And he had a couple extra targets.
I always wonder what's going on when no one else can get open, and then this really hurt guy comes out of here. It's like watching Zach Ertz. It's like, how is this still working?
Mybookie.ag promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market, and it's not just sides and totals. They do a great job there, getting great prices, but also they got you covered for touchdown, first touchdown, bunch of props as well. So head over to Novig, use that promo code SGPN, and since they're all about Novig, you're going to get one of the best prices in the market. Love using it for some first TDs, anytime TDs. I highly recommend our good buddies over at Novig. And if you're looking to get down, this is the price they have right now. Chargers up to -3.5, but you're getting it at +120. Good price over there on Novig, available in a bunch of states, including California, Texas, Florida. Use that promo code SGPN. Spend $5, get $50 with the Novig app. Joining us on the line, he is a 5-tool player here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, the NBA Gambling Podcast, which is coming back, the Propcast, WNBA Gambling Podcast. He's got a bunch of balls behind him, of course, tennis balls. From the Tennis Gambling Podcast, Scott Reichel. What's happening, Scott? Thanks for staying up.
Yeah, doing pretty well. I feel like we picked a good week to start basketball talk, because after this past weekend, I think Kramer and I definitely don't want to talk about any football.
I mean, I don't mind it. I was having this conversation with Uncle Ruben, who of course is a Broncos fan, and he's got no teeth though, so he's not ever going to let you hear it. Ruben, that is.
He has no teeth.
Well, like, he's not going to shit talk. He's like a nice guy. Like,
yeah,
like he's never going to make you feel bad about it. But yeah, it was kind of like, for as bad as the loss was, or the collapse, whatever you want to call it. And I still remember being in my basement watching them collapse against. Watching Jeremy Shockey be pissed off on the sideline as Jeff Garcia comes back with the Niners, but yeah, just the Jackson Dart thing just makes everything else not.
This is how beaten down the Giants franchise is. Just the fact that they were close in that game, and had a 99% win probability on the road against a good team. That's a win for the Giants.
No, I mean, you can try to push your agenda. I'm not saying it's a win for the Giants. I'm explaining why.
I'm explaining what you've had such a drought of success. That having Jackson Dart play well on the road here makes you happy, and you don't care that you lost the game.
No, you're still missing the point.
What
the
point
existence of Jackson Dart is the part that's like, yeah, cool. This stuff will work itself out.
Okay.
Maybe all the adults in the building will get changed, and you'll find some people that can manage a kicking position, and you'll find a defense that can understand how to be aggressive at the end of look at Seattle. They were aggressive at the end of the game.
Yeah.
What happened?
The Giants kicker lost his job at Rutgers, and somehow I don't know how you go from losing a kicking battle at Rutgers to being the Giants place kicker,
or using an international player exemption on a guy who lost his job at Rutgers.
I just want to know what Lawrence Tynes is up to nowadays.
Well, I mean, he is. If you're over on the old X app, he is. He's out there. He posts a lot of stuff about Giants football and Troy football and his kids who are prospects. But mostly he would say that's horrible.
Scott, we're gonna get why don't we start? We're in football mode. We'll get a couple of basketball takes here, but
sneak and attack. You get a little basketball sneak attack on me.
Well, Ryan, Scott is the host of the NBA Gambling Podcast. Scott, we'll start there because Kramer wants to switch gears. What do you like? Of course, the NBA Gambling Podcast every day, essentially Monday through Friday, daily picks podcasts. You, Terrell, Lante, got a great crew going over there. What do you like in the futures market this year for the NBA?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with a couple of, I'd say, regular plays that aren't exactly that big of a long shot, and I'll save a long shot for the end. So first play, my team. In addition to being a Jets fan, I chose the Brooklyn Nets. Not exactly the best choice by younger me.
No.
Give me the under, 20.5 wins. This team's going to be god-awful intentionally. I'm sure you've seen the quotes from their owner, Joe Tsai. They have one pick and they want to make sure it counts. They have a couple of really nice prospects coming in. You have Peterson. You have, of course, AJ from BYU, who everyone's already talking about as being a potential star in the league. This team was supposed to be god-awful last year, entering the flag sweepstakes. They messed up the tank. They were too good early and they had to trade off some pieces. I think they kick it into overdrive this time around. They got Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas on the same team. Last time I checked, there's one basketball. That's probably not going to go well in terms of shot, I'd say, selection for the two of them. They're going to be really bad. Intentionally, give me the under on their wins at 20.5. Surprisingly, not the lowest win total on the entire board. But after last year's tank went terribly wrong, I think they'll make sure it goes right this time around. Give me the Nets under 20.5 wins and -110.
What a just insane. I mean, it's so tough to keep fans where, hey, we're trying to tank, but we messed that up. And they did all they could. They signed Ben Simmons, which is usually a sign of really trying to throw it in. And that the Nets team, especially ATS, were super competitive. And it was funny. They were. I'm joining you, Scott, in solidarity. Give me the under on the Sixers win total 42.5. I'm not going to do this dance with Embiid. Will he be healthy? Oh, look, he's playing preseason. I'm out. I'm not going to be back in until I see a different version of the Sixers team that's not built around Joel Embiid, who just can't stay healthy. So I'm on the under the Sixers 42.5.
Well, you're also skipping Paul George, also already being banged up. But I do want to ask you, though, since you can be a passionate Philly fan, how many podcast episodes do you need of Paul George before you're back in on the Sixers?
Well, that was a funny running thing of like games played versus podcasts done, all the different trends of points he's had, podcast episodes posted. He's a prolific podcaster. Whoever's putting out his clips doing a very good job, but a very horrible addition to the Sixers. And another reason why they need to blow it up. Move on past Paul George. Move on past Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey.
Now we're talking
Edge
NBA.
Combe is fun.
Season hasn't started yet, but we got to get. We've talked about two teams that need to tank.
Well, I don't think they should tank. I just don't think. I think they should blow it up. I think they should trade Embiid and get whatever they can for it. Which I don't know. I don't know what the market is for Embiid there. Scott, what about?
Real quick about the Nets, Scott. I know you're much younger than us, but you did have the great fortune to see the Nets play at the Meadowlands, yes?
So I have seen the Nets play at the Prudential Center back in the day. The Meadowlands, no.
So you only saw them you saw them play at the Rock in Newark then, but you never saw. Oh, so So Sean, the Nets playing at home in the Meadowlands was one of the saddest things. I mean, it's a horrible place to get to. You've been to Giant Stadium. It's not near anything. Before they had the train, that's where the Nets and Devils would play. And so that's where I would go to watch the Knicks because the tickets were very cheap because no one went to the game. And that was also where I learned that well, the old Italian guy joke that made himself laugh real loud was, how do you spell loser? N-E-T-S. He would then follow that up by, you know what this guy does over here, and he'd point to a random Nets fan. Lose, just like the Jets. That was my childhood.
I just to date myself though, in the Prudential Center. So I grew up with the Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles, Richard Jefferson, Kenyon Martin teams. That's when I started.
So that during somewhere around that would have been like maybe year 2000, right?
Give or take.
Right.
Yeah.
So I remember watching one of those finals games. I was at a car dealership with my father. We were getting I was going to be leasing a car to take down to college, and the guy was trying to swindle us. And you've met my dad before, Sean, very much a pacifist, not someone who probably you've never seen him act violently. He picked up the car manual and he threw it at this guy and hit him right in the head. All time moment.
Whoa, what?
Yeah. He's like, I don't remember the word language that was used, but it was like a fuck your deal. And he just like the packet was like part of like, that's how close we were done to like being done. We were just waiting on the financing, and they tried to screw us in the financing. My dad chucks the book at this guy. We leave. Anyway, the Nets. It was a game the Nets ended up winning. I was pissed because I was watching the game, and then we ended up coming back the next day and getting the appropriate deal. But it took throwing the book at literally throwing the book at.
I believe that's called negotiating if it works. You know.
Yeah, walk away, come back. All right, Scott. What about a play in the West? What do you any takeaways for the Western Conference?
Yeah, so I'm gonna look at the Mavericks. Actually, a pretty polarizing team. Them to make the play in is plus 125, which I find pretty appealing. Kyrie, of course, out until January minimum because he had the serious injury. We'll see if he's ahead of schedule, behind the schedule, but he's gonna be out for a while. Now, AD is healthy for now. Keywords for now. We'll see how many games he actually plays. They got Cooper Flag. I mean, right now, overall, the Western Conference we know is much better than the East at this point in terms of depth. The Mavericks don't really have a great backcourt. They got D'Lo and Klay Thompson right now as their main guards while Kyrie's out. This team, at the end of the day, is paying so much money for veterans. I don't see them tanking at any point. So I think they're just going to go for it. And in reality, they made the play-in last year. We'll see how many games Kyrie does end up missing. But to be a play-in team, to not totally bottom out because they can't afford to, but to not also be very good. Plus 125 if they finish 7 through 10. Sounds about right. In the West, they could either be above 500 by a decent amount, good Western Conference, still finish in the 7th spot, or they claw and barely get there while other teams start tanking for some really good prospects. I don't see them tanking. Give me the Mavericks to be a play-in team at plus 125.
So now if they make the regular part of if they're not involved in the play-in at all, then you lose that bet, right? Or
yes, if they're too good and they finish 1 through 6, or they completely bottom out, I lose. Playoffs are even money if you want to go for that approach instead. I'm not sure they get in, but I do see them finishing between 7 and 10. Give me the plus 125.
Yeah, it does seem like a sweet spot there for the Mavs. I like fading the Rockets on the win total. A very simplistic handicap, but if Kevin Durant's on your team, I'm going to be taking the under on your win total. What is it? 52.5 wins. I'm a little skeptical of this Rockets team, just tossing in Kevin Durant. What's your take on the Rockets, Scott?
So I actually like the under as well. I question the backcourt. Van Vliet's a guy I was never a big fan of, mainly because of the contract. He agreed to take less, and now he's out for the season. They really needed him. You could argue they don't have a true point guard on the roster, because Amon right now is the listed point guard for the opening game tomorrow night. He is not a real point guard, so I kind of question the actual spacing and the playmaking from a guard perspective. Their backup is Aaron Holiday. You throw in Reed Shepherd, who was mostly a bench warmer for the entire season. He was good in preseason. Do I think he's ready to take a massive leap and play 25-plus minutes per game? Probably not. I don't know. We're going to find out. Their guard depth is kind of abysmal. and they got Kevin Durant playing shooting guard, which is very interesting. We'll see how that goes. But their lineup right now for the opening night is Amin, KD, Jabari Smith Jr., Şengün, and Steven Adams. I don't really like the spacing concept with that lineup. I question the outside shooting. I question if they're just going to be able to win games solely by clogging the paint, dominating the boards, and going from there. They could use more three-point shooting. The spacing has some question marks for me, not to mention the injury history with KD, of course. If KD gets hurt, can they overcome it? Maybe. But I think all of us are penciling KD in to miss, 15-plus games every single season at this point. I'll go with the under. The West is still very good. Not saying the Rockets bottom out and become a playing team. Not what I'm saying. But 50-plus wins is a lot in a loaded Western Conference when you might have some injury issues and some roster flaws. I see Houston finishing with 49 or 50. They can still get to 50. 52.5, 53.5, though, feels pretty large to me. I'll go with the under on that.
What about opening night here? Tuesday night, we got a couple games. We have the Rockets catching 7 points in OKC, or Golden State laying 2.5 against the Lakers. Odds over on mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. What's your favorite play Tuesday night?
So I have two that I'll share. I'll do one from each game. My first one's going to be the Thunder to cover the spread. I'll go with the -7.
Yes.
Thunder at home, they were incredible all season, including the postseason. Just for record sake, they were 37-15-2 ATS at home last season.
That's insane.
They were favored by a ton in every game. So they were a dominant home team. We saw it all postseason long. I think it carries over again in the ring ceremony game. Houston said a second ago, I question the spacing. They'll be a very good defensive team. I agree with that. But in your first game without a true point guard, now you have SGA, you have J-Dub, you have Caruso. You have a lot of really aggressive defenders who are going to pressure the ball handlers on Houston. I don't see that going well for the first game. Houston might figure it out as the season goes on. But for the opening game without a true backcourt, now you're against this defense. It's not the matchup that you probably want for your first game. I think OKC goes in there. I think they kind of take care of business. And I do think the spacing is going to be a serious question mark for Houston. I think they might figure it out at some point, but first game against defending champions is a tough spot. OKC being just an incredible home atmosphere with the banner, being lifted for the first time ever in franchise history. I got OKC -7.
Yeah, they're going to be going nuts. It's going to be wild.
I just made an NBA bet.
Oh, look at you, Kramer.
That makes a lot of sense. I remember. I have fond memories of doing that in the playoffs last year.
They were a bucket. Scott, what about the late game? Lakers getting 2.5 points there. Home dog, crypto.com. Of course, as you mentioned, LeBron, he's banged up. We shouldn't expect to see him for, I don't know, he's dealing with sciatica or whatever, some sort of back issue. Won't see him for a little bit, but you have thin Luka now. How say you? What do you make of this game?
By the way, just to backtrack a second, J-Dub is actually out. I forgot to mention that before. I still like OKC in this game, but yes, I see Degenerate mentioning in the comment section. J-Dub is out. That is correct. So yes, I still like OKC at home in the game. Segueing to LeBron, my new running trend. I know for Paul George's injuries, I used to put parentheses recording a podcast. For LeBron now, every injury is going to be parentheses father time. So that's going to be my new bit on Twitter every time he has an injury.
Is this him being a great dad, or is it father time finally catching up to him? Because I feel like he would be the guy who goes out of his way, let you know it's important for me to be a great dad. And to clarify, Scott, you are not one of the you're not the Laker fan that is suing LeBron for Decision 2.0, the Hennessy commercial.
I am not, but I did hear rumors that person did drop the lawsuit. So I did hear that actually did happen. Big news, but
he talked to a lawyer and they said, well, you know what? You're an idiot.
Yeah, because he bought this ticket that he thought was going to be the opening night of LeBron's retirement year. Now, this would be great if LeBron actually does retire at the end of the year, or if he actually, and the guy would have been right all along. But it was obviously going to be a commercial. So Scott, what are you doing here in the late game?
So I actually like the under for this game at around 226.5. LeBron's not playing. The Lakers defensively should be atrocious this season. I will point that out. The Warriors have kind of an older team than normal, which sounds impossible. They got Al Horford, So they got that now at center. But I like their overall defensive lineup there. You're looking at Butler, who's healthy. You also throw in Draymond. You throw in Al Horford. Decent defensive lineup there. You throw in Gary Payton II as well. The point is, though, with the Lakers, we know with Luka in general, they're going to want to play slow. I know that he lost weight. We'll see if they play faster. I doubt it. We know Luka wants to play in a half-court, pick-and-roll, heavy offense, isolation, etc. Lakers ranked 21st in pace last year. Warriors ranked 18th. I think the Warriors defensively should look sharp. I think offensively, the Warriors still want to play in the half-court, running a bunch of course, Draymond, legal or illegal screens every possession, a lot of off-ball stuff. I just don't see the pace being there for these teams. Opening night, I think they might play at least some form of defense compared to preseason. But I don't see an up-and-down track meet. I see a pretty predictable half-court battle there, and I think the pace single-handedly drags the total under. Give me the under this total at 226.5.
Graham, are you tailing the under as well, or you just sticking with this under?
I was just getting excited that Al Horford in the same draft class as Kevin Durant.
Final season, really? He said basically farewell tour. So
yeah, is he gonna have as fun of a farewell tour as LeBron?
It's gonna be better than Paul. It's gonna be better than Paul Pierce's.
Yeah, that's true. LeBron is really going to milk that. Hey, quick reminder, of course, we're brought to you by Rhythm. Download the Rhythm app. Use our promo code SGPN. Get you 25% off when you use our promo code SGPN 25. And look at this, Ryan. Obviously, they got you covered for college football, NFL. Track your picks for a chance to win $1,000 every week. But I'm firing it up, and they already got props loaded for opening day for the association, including DeAndre Ayton, a new center for the Lakers, who gave himself the nickname once, Dominating. His under,
it's pretty strong.
Yeah, it's tough to beat.
He must work with the Mannings.
Rhythm likes his under, and tough not to agree there. Under 10.5 rebounds for DeAndre, Dominating. Of course, you can go in, you can build your own model and get started today. 25% off with the promo code SGPN 25. All right, Scott. Not only are you grinding away on the NBA Gambling Podcast, but also the Propcast with our buddy Adam Rosenberg over there. What are your thoughts? What are your plays? What do you like here for Thursday Night Football?
Well, for starters, by the way, if you've not been checking out the Propcast, we've been absolutely crushing it. I swept the three plays tonight. We had an interception parlay, like 560 that got there too. It's been a very good season so far. So we're going to be doing NFL props there, also NBA and some hockey as well. So we're going to be mixing in some different sports. So keep an eye out for that. But for the games on Thursday, or the game on Thursday, for the starters, I got to go with the old reliable. I took it last week. I'll do it again. Give me Reichert field goals over 1.5 at minus 140. I'm a really big fan of kicking props, especially when you have Carson Wentz in the red zone. A lot of field goals, a lot of back-breaking sacks, which honestly kind of saved the Eagles. They had a bunch of chances they had to settle for field goals with. But Reichert made a bunch of kicks last week. It's a common theme. He's made at least 2 field goals in 9 of the last 10, and at least 2 field goals in 5 of his last 6 road games. Chargers also allowing a ton of field goals. Defense is kind of in shambles right now. They're allowing 2.1 made field goals per game, 5th most in the league. So we know they play indoors. Nobody's going to be there, but it's indoors, so weather's not a factor. Do like Reichert in general, and the Vikings' red zone offense has really not been as good as it probably should be with the weapons they have. Give me Reichert over 1.5 field goals minus 140.
Yeah, you can feel the marine layer. There's some open air.
Yeah, it is. We always argue with Colby. It's not.
Is the fake fan going to be there? You know, the hands up. She going to be there?
Oh, I
don't know.
All the
she has another gig. What was her other team?
Vikings.
Oh yeah,
that's what. Yeah,
oh really?
Both are teams.
They play against each other. She's going to have half a face paint of Chargers, half a face paint of Vikings.
Do like what Kelsey's mom does with the split jersey.
She was made for this one moment. On Prime.
I mean, she does seem like an AI person. There's no way this woman could be real. All right, Scott. You like a kicking prop to start off? Electric as always. Our audience loves kicking props. What else?
Really starting a whole revolution.
Yeah, we are
kicking props.
I mean, the Fairbairn stuff for the Texans is just an auto play. First 2, they struggle. It was minus 160. I said, I don't care. This thing's definitely. I may have shoved the MyBookie account on the Fairbairn over 1.5. Scott, what's another play you like for Thursday Night Football?
So I have some questions about both defenses. Vikings defense got torched by Jalen Hurts, Brown got whatever he wanted. Devontae Smith had 180 plus yards. He destroyed the secondary as well. I'm going to go for the longest reception against this team. Give me Quentin Johnson. Of course, his signature move is catching long passes. Give me the longest catch over 20.5 at -115. Gone over in 5 of the first 6 games of the season. Vikings have been allowing a bunch of long catches. Once again, we saw Brown and Devontae torch this defense last week. Weather's not a factor. I think Herbert airs it out. Whether or not they're winning, we saw them get killed last week, and Herbert still threw the ball a ton. I like the matchups. We know that he's going to be the big play receiver. I think it's a reasonable number against a secondary that's kind of been struggling for the last couple of weeks. I'll go longest catch over 20.5 for Johnson.
Yeah, and specifically, they've been giving up some big plays, and that's just the style of defense they play too.
Yeah, bad. That's their style.
Bad
but
defense. Also like aggressive. So
yeah,
big plays come from that.
Long, and it's fun to say Long Johnson over. Scott, I see now this you sent over your play. Justin Jefferson longest reception over 26.5. I was looking at this. I was debating Justin Jefferson longest catch over 26.5 or Justin Jefferson over 82.5 receiving yards. You went longest catch. Did you consider the yards? What's your analysis between the two? Because I think both are good, but wonder your thoughts there.
Yeah, I like all the above. I think Jefferson's going to have a solid game in general. I picked the longest reception for hit rate purposes, but I do like the matchup in general. Chargers defense, we know, was good pre-injuries. Problem is the entire team's injured, so it's kind of tough to evaluate the defense right now other than poor. We saw the Colts destroy him mainly through the ground. We'll see if Aaron Jones comes back, but at the end of the day, I'm not really sold on this ground game for the Vikings, but I am hoping it sets up the play action. A couple deep throws to Jefferson. Anytime it's one-on-one, whether you like Carson Wentz or not, he'll give his guys a chance in one-on-one coverage for better or worse, and I do think that's going to result in a couple of one-on-one targets for Jefferson down the field. So if you have the yards, not the longest, I'm fine with it. I think he might go for 100 in this game. But I'm not really sold on either defense in this matchup, but I think Jefferson eats. Give me the Jefferson longest catch, 26.5.
No, it's interesting because the Vikings came in, or the Eagles came into Minnesota, and the Vikings had a lot of, they were looking very good in a bunch of the advanced pass metric stuff. Certainly, they benefited from the Carson Wentz turnovers. I do like how Scott said, whether you like Carson Wentz or not, as if there's some people, like there's some big Carson Wentz guys. I was the last Carson Wentz guy.
You were a big Carson Wentz
I was
guy.
a huge Carson Wentz
Had a
fan.
fat head and everything.
Got off to a great start. I remember, and that's why I identify, Ryan. I remember what it was like early on, where you're like, I don't care if this team's losing, we got our guy. And I fell head over heels in love with Carson Wentz. He also helped me win $200,000, so that was awesome. But eventually, he hit the wall, and it's weird because you can still see flashes of good Carson Wentz. He made a couple of really nice throws.
You said the scrambles? Saw the scrambles he had there in the second half?
The 3rd and 10s, he had like back-to-back 3rd and 10s where he scrambled, picked it up, and I was cursing Carson Wentz, and then
he takes the sack and the drive immediately falls apart. Yeah,
the pick six, like just
still tries so hard to use his shoulders to fake people out.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe one of my greatest, maybe after the Kyle Juszczyk first reception in the Super Bowl, but one of my greatest prognostications maybe was his torn ACL.
Yeah, you predicted he would tear his ACL. He did, and then
was it the Rams game?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was the Rams. Yeah, it was the Rams game.
I was at the game.
You assisted in tearing his ACL.
Yeah, and it came full circle because right after that, I went on an epic rant and I said they were going to win. They were going to win the rest of the games they needed to win to get the 1 seed, and they were going to win the fucking Super Bowl with Nick Foles. I called my shot.
Yep,
it hit. They beat the New England Patriots, took down the mighty Patriots, even though Tom Brady threw for 500 yards, and they won the game, and it was awesome. So, thank you, Ryan, for inspiring the Eagles Super Bowl.
And that's one way to look at
it. Scott, any other bets you have cooking up in your account? I know you have a lot of them.
Yeah, I do. More than I could think. But
because you host a bunch of shows, you do a bunch of gambling. What's one play? Doesn't matter, sport wise, whatever.
Ooh.
Could be a future, could be tomorrow. Just what's one other Scott's pending action for the people?
Well, I promised everybody a long shot NBA play, and then we went right to NFL.
Oh, yes,
so I'll go back to it for that. It's going to be the 6th Man of the Year award. What can possibly go wrong? I'm going to go with the Okonkwo on the Hawks at 36 to 1. I think it's a great spot for him. Believe it or not, Porzingis ended up there on Atlanta, and he's allegedly starting. I don't know how many games he's going to play, but Porzingis is technically starting. A reminder for this award, as long as he plays the majority of games off the bench, he can start 40 games and still be eligible for the award. So I like Okonkwo, who was very good last season. He averaged basically 13 and 9 last season. Porzingis, though, if he gets to 41 plus games played as a starter, Okonkwo's eligible. And he's also really good. Atlanta's supposed to be a good team this season. I don't know if I'm all in on the Hawks like some other people, but in kind of an unwritten rule for this award, you got to be a playoff team. Your team has to actually be relevant in order to win this award. But Porzingis being a starter is a ticking time bomb, and I'm hoping, even though I expect him to get hurt like we all do, just please reach like 41 games. 41, 42 games played, all I need. Okonkwo, though, is a very solid player who will be in the rotation playing a bunch of minutes because he averaged basically 14 and 9 last year. And Porzingis, if he does miss a month or two, a lot of starts for Okonkwo. I think his stats will be pretty good. I think the Hawks will be pretty good. Give me a 6th Man of the Year award price at 35 to 1.
Love it. Great stuff as always. Make sure you follow Scott on X at Reichel Radio and check out all his podcasts on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Download the app to get them all. NBA tips off tomorrow, aka today, depending on when you're hearing this, and of course the Propcast, bunch of shows over there, and MLB gambling podcast coming to the end here with the World Series. So great stuff as always, Scott. Appreciate it, man.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Yep, let it ride. And of course, as always, brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Love the dog app, super fun, where you can win up to 5,000 extra money.
Oh my God!
Play $5, get $100 in bonus funds. So many. If you haven't, just so many new options to get down on. If you have not been playing around with your Underdog app, if you're like, oh, I haven't checked in, fire it up. You're gonna see some stuff you like in there, maybe even some boosts. I'm sure I'm getting a bunch of gimme picks, boost tovers,
ridiculous amount.
Well, because they got the NBA tipping off, you have World Series going on, and of course the National Football League. So a lot of ways to win. We'll give out a lineup here in just a second. But Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. Kramer, what's your first prop you like for Thursday Night Football?
And I just confirmed that we have been fully rescued, and we have a rescue gimme pick.
Oh, beautiful.
First prop for Thursday Night Football. You know, I noticed what Alec Pierce was able to do against this Chargers defense last week with the Colts. And I said to you in the office, I said, this might be a Jalen Naylor game. So, looked around. I can't verify that this is a completely bettable number. I expect it to be around 17.5 receiving yards. Honestly, though, I would, and they've been also making his longest reception, Sean, at 11.5 or 12.5 yards, and he's had. I mean, it's almost like they don't watch the games with his prices. He has gone over from a yardage perspective. Last week he was 15.5 against the Eagles, had 37. The week before that, 17.5 against the Browns, had 27. One under with 2 yards against the Steelers, but then 37 to go over 33.5, 31 to go over 26.5. They have not been pricing him right. The longest reception, 26, 20, 2, and 22, 17, 28, 27. So I think you can play this one either way as well. Kind of similar to how we were talking earlier. And maybe that's just, you can probably say that about everyone on the Vikings to some extent, but I wanted to grab the lower opportunity. Plus, Naylor becomes an interesting, a super interesting ladder play, because if you look at his numbers, like he's out there running routes all the time, and he's running routes down the field. So if he gets involved, and Wentz has kind of gone to him, he's got 4 targets in the past 2 games. So we're going over Jalen Naylor's receiving yards. Easily, I mean, the unrealistic playable to number is like, I would probably play this to like 25 28 yards. No problem.
Yeah, no,
I think it's going to be 17.5 though.
he's definitely a part of the offense. Yeah, I'll go Justin Jefferson. I'll just do the total over 82.5 receiving yards. To Scott's point though, he's gotten over 26.5, 5 games in a row now. That's 1 game with JJ McCarthy, 4 games with Carson Wentz. The only game he didn't go over was the only game where he scored a touchdown. His first game. He's like Trey McBride, although Trey McBride's been getting his touchdowns now. Where JJ McCarthy or Justin Jefferson is such a beast, but he struggles to get into the end zone. It's weird.
But also the offense just creates space for him. That's part of the reason the longest reception is interesting.
Yeah, I like both. I'll just go with the 82.5 receiving yards, but maybe I play both. I think both are live.
They've not been good against the receivers. I mean, they've not really been good defending against the pass recently.
Their defense has just been really bad.
They've also not been great against the run, and so a lot of the fantasy. I'm a little confused right now, Sean, because a lot of the fantasy sites are reporting that Aaron Jones is coming back this week. There's been no reports from any of the Minnesota Viking beat reporter. He has to be activated from the IR.
Yeah,
of him
short week
being at practice. So I don't know if he's going to be back. If he is, I think he'll be involved in the passing game. But I think they like Jordan Mason running the rock. And what has this Chargers defense done against the ground game recently? Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane. It's been insane. So again, this is a number from the Wild, 67.5. We're going to go over the rushing yards. Mason's 2 touchdowns, Sean, is plus 600. So, I mean, I think they're seeing the board well with this one, but I'm going to take the yards. I think there's big plays to be had. I think the Chargers defense in general has been relatively soft. And I think if you're the Vikings, you got to establish the line of scrimmage to get everything else working. So Mason over 67.5 rushing yards.
Now maybe I'm just.
Have you seen anything about Aaron Jones? Just for the record.
No.
Yeah,
no, but I didn't. I know you were asking me about it. I didn't dive.
Well, because I'm reading these fucking fantasy sites and they're like, he's coming back. He's eligible to come back this week. And I'm thinking short week Thursday. There's been no mention of him working on the side at practice or anything.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to come back on that short week. If he was. And I didn't hear he was close on Sunday, so that makes me think there's.
Well, he wasn't eligible.
Oh,
he's on IR. Yeah, that's the weird part. Sometimes they don't have to declare IR guys. Like he's not on the injury report because he's on the IR. Yeah, I don't know. So but I'm going to play the Mason thing. I think they signed Mason for a reason because they don't think Aaron Jones can be that kind of running back.
For me, I almost hit a crazy 200-1 bet on him getting his second touchdown on Rondé Gatson. Been loving what I've seen out of him. Super big athletic tight end. They love him. I mean, if you listen to any of those guys talk, now maybe I'm chasing recency bias here, but his first game 46 receiving yards, then 16-14. Last game 2 games ago 7 catches 68 yards. And then the breakout game against the Colts, 7 for 164.
They're just going to run it back
and a touchdown. I'm going to just take his over 39.5 receiving yards. He's clearly a big part of the offense. They were doing design stuff for him near the red zone. I also take anytime touchdown at plus 260. I guess I'll just stick with the over receiving yards. But
so in the last 3 weeks, he is playing he's participating in 71% of the routes.
Yeah.
He's only behind Ladd McConkey. He's ahead of Keenan Allen. He's running more routes than Keenan Allen.
It's insane. And
20% target share, Sean.
Now certainly
a lot was one game.
The game was the game against the Colts. Colts are weak against the tight end. That was part of my handicap of why I liked him for 2 touchdowns. But and the Vikings aren't horrible against the tight end. They're kind of middle of the pack, but still 39.5 receiving yards. He's got like catch and run ability. Yak. So yeah, smash it. Give me a Gatson over 39.5 receiving yards.
Yeah. It seems like too easy, just the way that he was involved in the offense. It was almost like the moments that Darren Waller had in the games when he's gotten catches where you're like, wow, this motherfucker's just wide open. And then he'll just disappear for large chunks, except for Gadsden didn't disappear. He was clearly a big part of that offense. So yeah, I'll zag off of that. Give me Quentin Johnston. 46.5 yards is comically low.
Okay.
I mean, we see what just happened to this Vikings secondary. AJ Brown, Devonta Smith just absolutely shredded them down the field. That's what he's going to be working on. Sounds like they could be getting Trey Pipkins and Joe Alt back. And, you know, I think it's very fair to think that Joe Alt's going to stabilize this offensive line a little bit. He's going to be able to play a little bit less sped up, and yeah, I think Quentin Johnson will be one of the benefactors of that. So maybe I'm competing a little bit for the same yards as Oronde Gadsden, but
yeah, I'm playing essentially the same kind of thing, but just from the Herbert point of view. Give me Justin Herbert over 36.5 longest completion.
Yeah,
he's gonna. I think it could be a good chance it's Quentin Johnson. Maybe it's Ladd McConkey on a catch and run. Maybe it's Gadsden on like a deep cross there. Like maybe Keenan Allen. Like I don't know who is going to have that long catch, but I mean that Viking secondary, which I'm sure they're going to make some adjustments. But Devonta Smith was wide open. AJ Brown got his, and they're obviously very good receivers. But still, like
was there anyone not open? They were just, I mean,
some of it, and it was interesting because I still think the Eagles' offensive line has some issues, but some of it, I mean, like that 4th down play, that was clearly like an improvised play. Jalen Hurts did a great job in the pocket sliding around, which Herbert does very well as well. And it seems like there's plays to be had in the scramble drill, right? Hey, run around, someone's going to get open. Hopefully Herbert's able to connect on one of those. If I had to guess, it's going to be on a play like that.
Yeah. Well, that's kind I mean, Herbert's kind of turning into that guy. Like he's using his legs a lot more. And specifically though, when you move the pocket against the Flores, you've probably already defeated his, whatever he's trying to do to you. So I'm with you.
All right, Ryan, do we want to do a little? What do you want to do here? Your first TDs? Can I see your TDs?
You want to do underdog entry first?
Oh yeah, sure. What do you like for your underdog entry?
I nailed the Nico Collins contribution to the rescued lineup.
Well, to be fair, I did try and put in Dalton Schultz, and I got shut down.
We should have done 3.
Yeah. Well, then who knows what happens if the Evans gets rescued? I mean
You want to do Gadsden?
Kind of, but also I do like Justin Jefferson. So, let's do Gadsden. He's fun. He's new. They
have his yards
38.5. And so, yeah, it's ticked down since I wrote this down. So, updated to 38.5 receiving yards, higher 38.5 receiving yards for Oronde Gadsden II. Because I was just looking up his stats and
his dad played.
Yeah, his dad played. Was a receiver though. He's tight end, but he looks like a receiver. Kramer, what do you contribute?
All right. Do we want to play another yardage one, or do we want to go the TD?
Well, whatever you say on the Viking side.
Mason to score a TD.
Okay. What do we get? Is it spicy at all, or is it?
No.
Okay. It's mild.
Like I said, his 2 touchdowns, 6-1.
All right, but this is see if I can toss a boost in here.
We could do the gimme picks. Oh, it's still boost over. What am I? Of course, it's silly.
Max it out. All right. So with the boost, it's a 344X. So which the Boostober I think max is at $50. So $50 returns you $172. Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. Love that combo there. Kramer, let's talk first TDs. I'm going back to the old reliable. I know he hasn't hit, but he was running in the red zone. Give me Carson Wentz, 45-1.
You have to play it.
I'm gonna keep. This might be our last chance to ever play Carson Wentz.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, exactly. They're not. These guys aren't going to be playing primetime games forever.
And I will also go with Josh Oliver, who has his price is 40-1. He has 2 touchdowns already this season. He had I don't think it might have been the first touchdown in the Cleveland Vikings game. It was
confirmed.
So clearly they have a role for him. I don't think Hawkinson should be as big of a favorite as he is, especially considering Wentz likes him and Wentz likes going to him early and often. On the other side, Give me the Gazelle, the Nordic free or what I don't know, whatever Harbaugh hypes him up. Justin Herbert, 22-1.
You have to play that too.
Smash it. Smash. And then Will Dissly. I know I'm drooling over Gadsden here, but Will Dissly is still involved in this offense. He could very well get in the end zone. Give me Will Dissly. He is priced at 40-1. So those are my first TDs. Kramer.
Sorry, I was trying to dig up the Josh Oliver. I'm pretty sure we were on that Josh Oliver first touchdown. I was trying to bring up the price. So we're very close in our thought process. But you shopped with price sensitivity, and I said no. The quarterbacks are fine as the longer shots. Carson Wentz, Herbert on the board. For Carson Wentz, I think we got the same price there, 45-1, and you said 22-1 for Herbert.
Yeah.
Again, what like that he should not be north of 20-1.
No.
I'm gonna pair them with TJ Hawkinson at 15-1 and Gadsden at 16-1. I wasn't getting cute. I think I saw some incredible tight end usage by Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
With Hawkinson, and I saw some incredible tight end usage. I went and looked at Dissly's numbers, and I was like, oh man, Gadsden is he's Herbert's guy. We have to move on.
Well, that is my DGen bet. It's the cute touchdown parlay. Will Dissly to get in the end zone. Josh Oliver to get in the end zone. 120-1.
I swear I thought.
Oliver has 2 touchdowns already.
That.
It's obviously not first touchdowns. It's just
no.
Josh Oliver anytime touchdown. Will Dissly anytime touchdown.
I thought you were gonna say when you said I'm just gonna do the 2. I thought you said 2 QB touchdowns.
Oh, okay. Well, that one's fun too.
Well, it just paid me off nicely with the Nick start parlay. My bookie account's very flush. Wentz with Herbert, which by the way, my bookie plus 450 Herbert's anytime touchdown.
Really?
My God. So Wentz and Herbert score a touchdown.
Yep.
70-1.
Bank it. I like that one as well.
I like just this system in general. I'm going to be deploying more of the dual quarterback.
Well, in big time games, we see it all the time. It seems to be a more recent thing, like in the past couple of years. And now some of it is the type of quarterbacks we're getting as well.
All right. How often are prospects coming in and only being a pocket passer?
It's pretty rare.
You think about the Knicks class.
Yeah. Even a guy like Penix, who is for the most part a guy who doesn't run a lot, he has a rushing touchdown.
He's the least athletic of that.
But he already has a rushing touchdown.
I know. It's crazy.
Jared Goff should have a rushing touchdown. Those fucking bastards.
But I just don't think you're seeing as many of the true. It makes the Cam Ward being drafted over Jackson Dart phenomenon even crazier. He's a small-handed, typical classic pocket
People are
passer.
worried about his small hands. I mean, those turnovers have looked horrific. So glad I didn't get cute and take the Titans over win total. So glad.
Do you have an early take on this game? Chargers O line looks. I mean, like my early read on it is that they're getting back both their tackles, or at least both of their starting tackles from after Rashawn Slater going out.
Chargers O line is going to be big. If we can definitely hear that Joe, and I think that's, if I had to guess, it opened at 2.5, it moved to 3. I'm guessing part of that is positive Joe Alt news.
In the fake practice, like in the non-practice practice report, he was limited.
Yeah. So. If they get some offensive linemen back, it's going to be tough to take this Vikings team on the road. Although we have 2 quarterbacks who are prone to backbreaking turnovers in Justin Herbert and Carson Wentz.
I think the bigger concern is that
and I compared both their games.
Yes,
people thought I was crazy. That what you saw to Herbert last week, that was Carson Wentz 2018 after 2017 when the turnovers came in.
I mean, he's just he's just trying really hard because the team around him isn't cutting it.
Herbert or
Herbert's
Wentz?
Fault. Herbert.
Oh, okay, but Wentz is trying really hard too.
He is too, but he holds on to the ball. He has more talent around him.
Wentz?
Yeah.
I mean, certainly at the receiver position, but
it's not
I don't think that Vikings offensive line's great.
No.
So
somehow the Chargers being on backup.
Yeah, they're on their 7th tackle.
They're on backups on every position in 3rd string tackle. Poor Chargers. It happens every year. We watch Decker go through it every.
I'm so glad you. I'm looking. I'm like doing an live inventory of my positions for win totals. Some are really bad. You know, with the fading the fading the Colts is probably the worst one. The Pats, who I thought would be and did start off slow.
Can we shred the Colts fewest points?
Yeah, that's already been shredded. I wish you could delete it off a ticket online. And then one that I was like one of those like last ones where it was iffy, and then when we were tightening up the wins was the Chargers for me. And and it was like right when the Rashawn Slater news came out, and I was like,
down.
It was like 10-7 or 9-8, and I flipped it to 9-8 and got under. So glad I did that because it's the Chargers.
Yeah, they find a way. Although I'm not counting Harbaugh.
No, this is they're gonna turn it around. It's the Chargers.
I'm not counting
All you gotta do,
Harbaugh.
get healthy, get to the bye week. They'll be fine. Thank you everyone, as always, for tuning in. Like I said, make sure you check out the NBA Gambling Podcast, guys. They're back. Download the app. Always an easy way to get all our picks, all our podcasts, one convenient place. And if you want all the podcasts across the entire network, you can download the Sports Gambling Podcast or subscribe to the SGPN feed. Just type in SGPN, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and you get all the episodes in one convenient place. Appreciate that. And of course, our show, always appreciate you guys tossing us 5 stars, questions, comments, answering them all over on Spotify. And tomorrow night, we'll be back talking college football. Of course, as always.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
Give out 3 firm handshakes this weekend, Sean.
Kramer. Let it ride.